Margo Robbie, this is very much Harley's movie, and this is kind of almost acts as her origin story. So how is it like getting to tell Harley sans the Joker and without that baggage?
It was so fun, and it's really Harley at a kind of different stage of her life, and her and the Joker break up at the beginning of the film, and I think we got to know her in Suicide Squad with this confidence, this idea that no matter what happens, she's got Mr. J to come and clean up her mess. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't have that anymore. She also had no idea that she'd pissed off as many people in Gotham as she has, so everyone wants to kill her, and it's hilarious that that's a shock to her, but it just raises the stakes as well. But no, it's so fun to play her at this stage, and I think people are going to see a side of Harley they definitely haven't seen before. Very raw, very, very vulnerable. She's getting drunk a lot, making mistakes, giving terrible life advice to a 10-year-old. It's fun. You get to see her apartment or what she eats for breakfast, certain things like that. I think people find entertaining.
Yeah, and one of the people that you pissed off is this guy over here,
yeah.
plays Victor Zsasz.
Oh yeah,
he doesn't like her. Yeah.
Is there a history there that we don't get to see like on camera? Because we see like the list of grievances, but do we learn more about that from like? Are there parts that are cut from the movie, or is there going to be potential to see more of that later?
I hope there's a potential to see more of that, but no, there wasn't stuff cut out of the movie that. But there was certainly we had our own backstories, and in this underbelly of Gotham, we've bumped up against each other, and I want her gone, and she's infuriating to me. But that's hard to play because it's Margot, but that was the case.
Yeah, you could infer there's a lot of history there, especially between the conversations with Roman and Harley. You can tell that they constantly, she's always in his club and just causing mayhem, and Zsasz is never more than a few feet away from Roman, so you can imagine they've all got a lot of history.
Yeah.
So you have inhabited this character many times before, but you are sort of bringing this character to life on the big screen that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
How did you put your own spin on this? Like, how did you approach this character?
Yeah, I was, Zsasz is low in the canon of villains, and so I felt very responsible to kind of giving him a voice, and the script was beautifully written, and it had from the very first audition I had, I remember just kind of setting out on I'm going to set you free, I'm going to set you free, and that became kind of the essence of what I wanted to do with him. This psychopath that believes that he wants to exterminate society. I watched over and over again, I watched Ralph Fiennes in Schindler's List, which is, he's an awful villain in that, and the extermination. So that was like in my own little world of wanting to take over, even maybe one day, killing Roman and being the master of the universe. So that's where I went with it, and Margot and Kathy, they allowed me to do that and to play around and create my own version of Zsasz.
The relationship between Zsasz and Roman, too, is a big core part of your character. Can you tell me how that relationship evolved as it did it on screen, having sort of this almost romantic feeling to it? I don't know if you can confirm that, but like, how did you guys play off with each other?
A lot of stuff we found it was fun. We rehearsed a bit, and we found a lot of stuff in rehearsals. We also, he's written as a henchman, and I only titled him or gave him the kind of label of psychopath, and so because of what I said before, Zsasz is low on the totem pole. I wanted him to, I made a choice of being obsessed with Roman, obsessed with his, his clothes, his style, his words, his power, his money. These characters are like Shakespearean in that you can, we go see Hamlet year after year to see a different interpretation. This was my interpretation of Zsasz. Maybe there'll be other movies with Zsasz and somebody will do it completely different. Anthony Carrigan did it in Gotham, and he was wonderful. And so that's why we see Batman, the Joker. They're vast.
With Harley, your main sort of relationship was with with Cass, and at the end you kind of drive off, and there's this implication that there's going to be a Harley and Associates sort of future in for Harley. Who would you like to see sort of Harley team up with later on?
I mean, there's so many characters that I love and would love to see incorporated. One I've been pushing for as long as I've been pushing for this film is Poison Ivy.
Yes.
Because they have such, I mean, there's two versions of their, in some comics it's friendship, some comics it's romantic. Either way, I want to explore that because I love their relationship so much in the comics.